You are about to listen to an exclusive interview on Maximum Threshold Radio. Thanks for listening to us at MaximumThreshold.net. Horns up, fists in the air.
Maximum Threshold, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Jerry Gaskill calling in.
Hey, Jerry, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm just calling in to say hey to you guys.
Nice, man. So what's the haps, man?
What's the what?
What's the haps? What's shaking, bacon?
What's sizzling,
Well,
lean?
quite a bit shaking, man. A lot going on these days.
I hear you, man.
Good stuff.
I'm glad you called. I tried to get a hold of you a couple of weeks ago to get you on here, but we've been working with DA there, and it's real cool that we finally got you on here.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
And in the studio we have Dave and Michael also, as well as myself, Dom.
Good evening, Jerry. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. I'm excited that you're on the fast track to recovery. I know it was pretty rough there for you for a while.
Yeah, there were times when it was very, very rough. I was thinking, I might not make it through this. Well, actually, I didn't know that because I was dead at the time.
Damn,
I didn't even know what happened to me.
But, situations like that, man. It's and you think back to that. It's got to be like cross between like mind-boggling, as well as the thought of saying, "Hey, I got a second chance at life, man, and it's time to make some changes or to work on some new things." And the Mayans were sort of right in a way.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
It's all those things, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely mind-boggling, definitely life-changing, and but ultimately things have turned out better than I could have ever imagined. I can't imagine my life now without the heart attack. It's probably one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me.
Wow, I could say that about a divorce. But was there a point during your recovery that you thought you might not get to play the drums any longer?
There was. When I was in the hospital, I thought to myself, I don't know if I'll ever be able to play again. And I didn't even know if I'd ever want to play again. It just didn't seem to matter at that point. All I could think about is, I just have to get well now. I have to get better. And at the same time, I felt I'm going to be better than ever, which I actually am now. But it was a bit of a road to get to that point. But yeah, I thought I might not ever play again. And at that point, it didn't really even matter to me if that's the right thing, because everything was just so different.
I remember the moment.
I could barely walk.
I remember the moment when they started passing, the word started going out there about you, and the whole online community, as I saw it, really was shooken up by that. Everyone was totally shocked at this, but it was real cool to see that everybody just came together, as one hard rock metal community, and was putting their prayers out and positive messages out there, and as you know as well as we do, everyone's grateful. Everything worked out the best way.
Oh, thanks, man. And I will have to say that the love I felt and the support and everything you just said, it's just been overwhelming to me, man. I can't be thankful enough for all the love I felt. It's just been incredible. I'm sure that's a big part in helping me make it through all this.
Oh, yeah. So what was after you got out of your coma and all that, and then people came to you and told you what happened? What was the things that you talked about to them?
Well, when I first came out, I had this trach in my throat.
Yeah.
And I could barely talk at all. I could hardly get words out. And so I tried not to talk too much because I just couldn't really do it. But I look back on everything now, and it almost feels like it didn't even happen because I've come so far from that point where, like I said earlier, I'm actually better than I've ever been in my life. I mean, literally. I mean, the tests that are taken, everything about my body now is better, and it's just mind-boggling, like you said earlier, to think about all those things. That did happen to me, and that I'm now at a place so far beyond that, it's incredible. I don't remember the first things I said to people. I just don't know.
So you're like the $6 million man. They built you better. They put you back together and made you better.
That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. My cardiologist called me the Wonder Boy and things like that. I remember at one point I'm in the hospital, and he comes in, and he thanked me for making all the doctors look so good. He said, because I was just doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I recovered quickly. I don't know. I mean, that's my only experience. I don't know what's supposed to happen, but that's what happened to me, and I just became better and better.
How was your drum playing after coming back? Do you feel like you're stepping up your game a bit, or are you like in that same mode as you were prior to?
Well, in some ways, I feel like I'm able to step it up a bit because I feel like I have more energy now. I feel better now, and I feel stronger now in a lot of ways. So I think I have the ability to step it up. Whether or not I do, I don't know.
So
I feel good about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I know that you had this health issue, but I never saw what it caused it. What caused your such a extreme heart attack on your body?
Well, what it was, I had 100% blockage in a main artery.
That would do it.
And
Hey, when that happens.
from what I understand from my cardiologist now, and the doctors tell me, a lot of it was just genetic.
Mm-hmm.
There really wasn't a lot I could do about it. I mean, I could have probably eaten a little bit better, but I was really trying. I mean, I was trying. I was running. I was trying to eat okay, and take care of myself. But as I look back now, I realize that up to that point, I was dying. It was inevitable. It was going to happen no matter what I did at that point. And it just did. It took me down. And had I been alone, had my wife not been there, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
How long were you out before she?
Was.
How long were you out before she found you?
Well, she saw it happen.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we were in the house together. We had come home that night. I guess I sat in with a band, a local band here, and I don't remember this.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me that I felt feeling weird, and I was holding my chest and stuff, and then I started like running in the kitchen like I do just to make myself feel better, and thinking that's going to help. I thought it might have, and she said I went. She wanted to take me to the emergency room. She said, "Look, we got to go to the emergency room." She said, "No." She told me. I said, "No, I'm okay. I want to be okay." And she said, I went into the bathroom, and she heard me drop, and she walked in there, and actually, I don't know if I think she actually saw me drop. Yeah, she told me she just saw me fall to the floor, and I hit my head on the floor real hard, and basically I was dying. And she tried to revive me and called 911, and they came, took me to the hospital, put a stent in. I was in a coma for about 3 weeks. Living a life.
Did you?
I had an apartment in L.A. at one point. I was visiting my kids. I was living with one of my sons in Houston somewhere. I was hanging out with Steven Tyler on American Idol. I was going to do some Aerosmith songs with Steven. I was going to sing with him. I remember thinking, I really don't sing Aerosmith songs. I guess if this is the gig, I'll do it. That's the kind of, I was going through all these things when I was in the coma.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't feel like dreams to me. It felt like reality.
Oh,
and it still kind of does. I know that I'm the only one that experienced that.
I don't know, because you were so basically if you're in a coma, you're in a dream state, but it sounded like you were actually having a pretty cool one at it, because you could have had
great.
You could have had a nightmare that just would have kept going on, and it would have really sucked.
Yeah, it was actually great, but I do remember that I was always laying down. I was never walking. I was never moving. I was always either sitting or laying down. Yeah, and I didn't even know what had happened to me. Crazy.
Wow, that's insane.
Well,
That's that.
It's a sign that we're all getting older. So I think that
Right.
before it's too late, King's X should hit the road and play Dogman in its entirety.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love
All
that
right.
album. I love it. I love that album.
thanks, man.
And I think because like all the that's what a lot of the bands are doing now is playing their albums from start. They take an album from start to finish, and I like the radio. Wow, I like the radio cuts and the videos, and I would say I was more like a casual King's X fan, and then when I heard Dogman, I was like, oh, this is so awesome.
Well, thanks, man. I think that was I guess it was a little bit heavier than some of the other stuff we got, maybe.
Yeah, little angrier. It was more like I noticed more of a positive, uplifting vibe from the previous albums, and that album was more I don't want to say angry, but more questioning that whole spiritual, uplifting vibe from the first few albums. Or at least that's what I got from it.
True.
I know you got some new projects that you're working on, and you're getting ready to put some stuff out there. You want to talk a little bit about that? Then we can bounce back and forth. Because we got some new people who are just tuning in right now, and just let everybody know who's tuning in right now. We have Jerry Gaskill on right now, and so
hey, everybody.
And we got one of your biggest fans in our chat right now, Jeff Kiss. So I know he's about to unload a bunch of questions to you.
Who is that? Jeff Kent? Did you say?
Jeff Kiss.
Jeff Kiss?
Yes.
Hey, Jeff Kiss.
He wants to replace Paul Stanley and Kiss when the time comes.
Oh, I get it. It's like George Beadle and John Beadle. He's Jeff Kiss, right?
That's his other how do you say it their alter ego.
His alter ego.
I got it.
Pseudonym.
I got it.
I think his real name is Barack Obama.
We have a terrible delay thing going on.
Oh, do we? Let me just make sure I got it.
So we're like talking over each other, aren't we?
No, we don't hear it on our end.
Oh, good. All right, great.
So now that you had all those now in this dream state, how much of it was reality? Do you have an apartment in L.A.? Do you hang out in Houston? You've been partying with?
No.
So where's home base?
None of that happened.
So where's home base for you now?
Red Bank, New Jersey.
Oh, home of Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes, absolutely. Before that, we lived in Highlands, which is really the home of Jay and Silent Bob. I think they actually lived in Highlands.
Yeah, but everything was based in Red Bank.
What's that?
Everything was based in Red Bank. All the stories were based, in Red Bank.
Yes, and their store, the Secret Stash, is in Red Bank.
Yes. I know Brian O'Halloran really well. He played Dante Hicks in the first movie.
Wait, what?
He played Dante.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, Brian's one of my friends. So, by the way, I'm David, and I was preoccupied with the first part of the show. I wasn't able to get into the studio in time. But I want to say I got to see King's X now 3 times in concert, I believe. I saw you play twice at NAMM 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm trying to remember who you opened.
It was Accept.
I think you opened up for Accept in Cleveland.
We did it. We did.
Because I was like, that's a weird combination because I just don't see it, Because when I think of King's X, I think of the old music videos from around 90, was it 92, 91? That's when I think of King's, and you weren't what I expected to see. So when I knew that you were playing the live show, the small live shows at the NAMM show for Ampeg, I went inside it, your little, because you guys had like your own mini auditorium, I guess you'd call it, where you guys were playing like 2 a day or something like that. So I sat through 2 of them.
Yeah, we did 2 shows that day. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
we did. It was
So
great.
that was my
Had a
3
great
times
time.
seeing you guys.
Yeah,
All right, awesome.
I think I saw you 3 times as well. And each time I left even more impressed than the last. The musicianship and the harmonies were just top notch. Which leads me to this. How sick and tired are you of hearing everybody tell you, "Oh, you guys should have been huge"?
Well, it's nice to hear. It's a nice little thing to hear. But it would be nice for sometimes I would rather hear people say, "Man, I am sick and tired of hearing that song on the radio."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be
That
like,
means we'd be making money.
I'm sick and tired of those royalty checks.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But
Well, I don't I don't like AC/DC.
I don't mind hearing it. It's a nice thing for people to say.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I know that at the NAMM show, everyone in your band that was doing sign-ins had absolutely monstrous-sized lines to sign for their autographs and so on like that. I was like, Jesus. I mean, there was a huge amount of lines.
Yeah. Well, like I look at King's X almost like the comedian Louis C.K. or whatever his name is. He was considered the comedian's comedian. Like every musician, not 8 or 9 out of 10 are King's X fans.
Well, Rex Brown was talking to me about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was saying he says he can learn more from watching you guys play than he can from ever practicing.
Wow. Very nice. Thanks, Rex.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you what he took us. I was talking about you guys. We took him to a restaurant out here, the band, and we were talking about different bands and everything else, and you guys came up.
We've known Rex for years and years and years.
Like I said, he doesn't compliment that many people. If you know Rex that well, you know he doesn't compliment too many people.
What's that? Say that again?
I said if you know Rex well enough, you know he's not big on complimenting without it being real, He just doesn't put out compliments to anybody.
I know, man. That's great. I love Rex.
Hey, out of curiosity, I do have a question for you, seriously. Now, your band came out and were hyped as a pseudo-Christian or Christian metal or Christian rock. And if I have any of this information wrong, you let me know, okay? I don't mind being cut short.
I will.
Do you believe, how much of that was accurate, and do you believe that either hurt or hindered your career at all?
Well, I'd say that we all had a bit of a Christian background in our lives coming into this thing. But at the same time, I think that we realized, even before people knew who we were, that wasn't where we needed to be. And as time has gone on, I've even realized more and more that that's not where I need to be. And there was a time when I called myself a Christian. I think there was a time when we all called ourselves Christians. Well, I can't really speak for anybody else, but so I think those things just followed us along. We wrote spiritual type lyrics, or whatever you want to call them, and Christian type things, especially Doug. I guess we all did. I don't know. And so that just kind of got put on to us. And I think, I don't know if it hurt us or helped us. Sometimes I think it hurt us because it's not the most accurate thing. And as time has gone on, like I said, I've come to realize that I can't call myself anything like that. For me to say I'm Christian or to even be associated with anything at all that is absolute and definite and says this is what I am, that's absolutely not true. So any of those labels that are put on us don't apply to me at all anymore.
I understand totally. One of my favorite bands, a band called Trouble, also was put on with that label early in their career. But when they first came out, there was so many bands that were like with the whole Satan stuff that they got labeled white metal or Christian metal, and they were just music, but that label hindered their career in my opinion, and to this day people go, oh, that's a Christian metal band. No, they're a musician, they're a band. You don't put labels. You know
what it is, and Jerry, you might agree with this. Like most hard rock metal, like the hard rock, it's either about sex, partying. The metal is more about like negative, aggressive things, and then like King's X, Trouble were more. They were
spiritual.
They were more, but it was more of a positive message, even with the aggressive music. Because I'm a huge Trouble fan as well, but like the weird thing is they're labeled as these Christian bands, but a band like Hatebreed all of his lyrics, you know, we've had him on a few times. They're all uplifting, empowering lyrics, but they're not. They were never once considered a Christian band. It's weird that you know, certain bands get it, like, you know, King's X, Trouble, you know, and then there's other bands that are like, you know, Stryper that say, yeah, that's who we are.
Well, you do have something going for you that a lot of people do not have for you. Do you want to know what that is, in my opinion?
Sure.
You got played on MTV back when MTV actually played music videos.
Yes, we did.
Before it was all about teen pregnancy and ghetto people from New Jersey. So you got them when they actually played music and were considered a serious part of the entertainment industry when it came to that.
Oh,
And you were on heavy rotation. I remember.
It's Love was on, and Music Over My Head was on. I have a question going back to that Christianity, like being labeled a Christian band, and you said sometimes it hindered you. I know, you know, I know there's certain other bands that have been kind of railroaded for this. So
Stryper.
No, this isn't the Christianity thing. I wanted to ask Jerry, do you feel that having an African American, colored, black, whatever term people want to put on them, as a front man, do you think that hindered the band? Because I know for a fact there's certain metal bands that could not get on festivals because they had, you know, a black guy in the band, or some, you know, because some people are so closed-minded. Do you think that having, as talented as Doug is, as a vocalist and as a musician and a songwriter, do you think that hindered you in some lights because some people are so narrow-minded?
Are you telling me Doug is black?
Well, he's more of a brown color. I don't know where the black thing comes from.
Anyway. You know, as far as hindering and all that stuff goes, I really have no idea. I really can't know that. And I've never seen us, I've just never seen us as a heavy metal band or any kind of a band. Again, like putting a label on me or on us, to me, actually takes away from what's really there. So if in the metal world that's the case, we couldn't get metal gigs because Doug's black, I don't know. But, you know, if that is the case, I'm not sure that I even care about that. Mm-hmm. You know, if that's the way it is. You know, I just see us as a band that makes music. Doug's black and I'm white and Ty's white. But
Ty's white?
I don't know. I mean, there's other bands that have black people in them that have become very, very successful.
In living color.
Yeah, I mean, but there's some bands that are almost stuck at a certain level, and they got railroaded. That's why I was asking. And
I've never felt that we were. Maybe we were, but I never felt that we were.
So
I felt like we had our own thing enough.
So you are, in fact,
yeah, I don't know.
You're confirming that you're white, is what you just said.
I'm white.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I'm goofing around, but I actually am a big fan, and like even like when David mentioned Trouble and you guys, did you partake in the Super Shine album with Doug and the guys from Trouble?
I did.
Awesome, I love that album.
3 or 4 songs on that record, yeah.
Because I couldn't remember if I read that you helped demo or you ended up playing on some of the songs on the album. I couldn't remember, so I figured.
Yeah, I think I actually played on the record. Yeah,
cool.
I did the Grand Funk song. I remember that.
Oh, I love that. That is such an awesome. First of all, that's such a badass song, and what you guys did with it. Oh, I love it because Doug's voice is incredible.
I want to hear the album now.
And you know, I've always been a fan of your drumming, although I hate watching you because you make it look so effortless.
He does.
You're like
really?
that guy, like that guy in Clutch does that too. He makes it look like he's just like
making peanut butter and jelly or something like that.
Yeah, like he's like cutting a really tender steak, you know, not even a break in a sweat. You're like a Kenyan running a marathon. It doesn't even you don't even break a sweat.
Running for food.
Well, I guess I hide it well.
Well, Michael doesn't. Michael doesn't. I don't know if Michael told you that, but he's also a drummer. And when he's drumming, it looks like he's constipated. He has to take a dump.
It looks like I'm having a heart attack.
It looks like he's having a heart attack.
When I watch myself play, when I see a video or whatever, it drives me crazy because I hate the faces that I make.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just hate it. But that's just me. That's what I see.
Yeah,
there you go.
When I play, it looks like I already had the heart attack and I'm passed out. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like I passed out and hit the drums.
Wow, nice.
Good.
Yeah. So, is it all right? So now that you're getting you're better, is there a new King's X that we can look forward to? A tour, a greatest hits package, anything? Album?
Eventually there will be another record. Sure. Yeah, there will eventually be another record.
Is that?
I don't know when, but there will be one.
Okay.
And we've got some shows coming up. We're playing New York City. We're playing the M3 Festival in Maryland.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's right. There were like 3 or 4 bands that aren't coming here that I'm willing to take a trip to Maryland for. Loudness, Twisted Sister in their full regalia.
Really?
And King's X. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I gotta go because I want to see King's
Where are you at?
Cleveland.
But most of us travel, except for Dominic.
No.
Dominic doesn't leave Dominic leaves Cleveland, but he doesn't leave Cleveland.
He's got one of those ankle bracelets, and he's not allowed to go too far.
30 feet away from my front door.
See, what happened was he broke in
around high school.
He broke into a buffet in the middle of the night, and he got busted. Really? And he didn't realize we're going to have food sitting out there at the tables at the buffet.
Yeah, imagine a security system that could pick up a 300-pounder. Who would have heard of it?
Lack of motion detector.
Oh my God, that was a good one.
Okay, I got some more questions here from the chat room. This one's coming from Jeff Kiss. He's asking. He said you had a rough 2012 with a heart attack and Hurricane Sandy. Did those experiences change your outlook on life?
Well, yeah,
they have, very much so. It has been a bit of a crazy year, and actually, each thing that happened turned into the best thing ever. I think my wife said it the best. She said, "It's been a banner year for us. First, you died, then we got married, and now we're homeless."
Damn.
You know, but each one of those things, because mainly, and in many ways, because of the fans and the support from people all over the world, have turned into the best situations ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I was saying earlier, I'm in better health. I eat differently. I've changed the way I see things. You know, for the most part, everything is different and new to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hopeful. I know that things can be okay. It's just a matter of, I think, how you approach things and how you take it in and deal with it. You know.
Gotcha.
And the same way with Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
We pretty much lost everything we had in Sandy, and now we're in a position where we're moving into the home that we've always wanted to move into. And again, because of support from fans and friends, and overwhelming. It's just been overwhelming. And Sandy, I mean, because of the storm Sandy, there's these new deals in buying houses that are incredible. And we were able to get in on that. So everything just continues to be better. It's like always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah.
So
dark moments this year.
So basically, you're saying that if you were to take this to pen to paper, you got an amazing country music song going on.
In reverse,
yeah,
though.
I guess so.
In reverse.
Yeah, in reverse.
I lost my life. I lost my house. I lost my
my dog, my truck.
Actually, I gained a dog. Actually, I have a dog now.
Oh, what kind of dog you got? We
Another
love
great
dogs.
thing.
What kind of dog? We love dogs.
She came from Puerto Rico, and she's like a
Chupacabra?
Chihuahua miniature pinscher mix.
What kind of pincher mix?
Chihuahua.
Oh, that's what I got. I have,
miniature pincher
What
mix.
part of Puerto Rico? Juanadilla, San Juan? Where?
The dog's not talking.
Raccoon.
My ex-girlfriend's from Puerto Rico. I think they came from the same village.
But your dog smells better.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
He said,
I'm sure she does. I love the way she smells.
No, what he's saying is my ex-girlfriend came from Puerto Rico, too. I bet you they know each
Who
other.
came from Puerto Rico?
My ex-girlfriend came from Puerto Rico, too.
Oh.
And then Michael was like, yeah, but his dog smells better.
Oh. Well, what were you doing with her? She smells so bad.
Eating Juana Diaz's. No, not Juana. The Pina Diaz's. Actually, I love Puerto Rican food, to be honest.
I'm going to Puerto Rico in March.
Wait a minute.
For a show or for vacation?
Vacation. First one ever in my life.
Dave
Really?
loves every kind of food. Don't act like you just like Puerto Rican food.
I love most food.
I love most food, but I really like Puerto Rican food. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I like that. No, they got great food there called...
Just don't like the way the... No.
They got good food there called Pina Diaz's and Guamanimos. You just go to any restaurant and say Pina Diaz's and Guanimos, and they'll set you up.
All I know is on Man vs. Food, they had some giant pig thing that they made, and it looked so good. Oh,
They eat pork in that country. They do not eat healthy.
that's all right.
Well, this man wants to eat
Speaking of
healthy.
food, you want to know what I eat these days?
Yes, go ahead. Now that you're... Yeah, no.
All right, let's talk about what I eat these days. I'll tell you what happened to me. My friend Doug, who we all know and love, sent me a link to a movie called Forks Over Knives.
Oh, I heard of that.
I had to watch this with my wife. But I watched it alone. And it just made sense to me. And it changed the way I feel and see eating. And again, I don't say I'm anything. I'm not going to say I'm a vegan. I'm not saying I'm a vegetarian. I'm not saying I'm anything. But it's basically all about eating plant-based foods and only plant-based foods. And it just totally made sense to me. And from that moment, I've changed the way I eat just because I want to.
Well,
That's where I'm at.
I love vegetarian food. I mean, if food is done right, you will not lose anything as far as flavor, taste, and going. If it's prepared,
You wrap it in bacon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I love Chinese
That's
food.
the food I've discovered.
I love Chinese food, and I mean, if you use the spices and everything else the right way, it is fulfilling and tastes good. And
Incredible.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Best food I've
I
ever eaten has been since I died.
made vegetable lo mein all week this week, hot and spicy, and it was delicious, and there was no meat anywhere involved.
Listen, there is nothing better than going to a Peter rally, eating a big triple bacon burger. I dated a girl, and I'm convinced we split up because she became a vegetarian and joined PETA. Well, that and she was crazy. But she's like, "Will you go to the rally with me and help me hang the banner?" I'm like, "Can I sit there and eat burgers while we're doing it?" I'm like, "You don't force your vegetables down my throat, and I won't force my meat down yours." Well, I didn't mean it like
you guys
that.
broke up? I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm like a carnivore. I barely eat any vegetables. I did research that vegetables are actually bad for you.
Yeah, it's true. All food is bad for you. We really shouldn't be eating anything at all.
Well, technically, everything is poisonous and toxic in a way. You could be drinking orange juice, and if you drink too much orange juice, it becomes toxic in your body. If you have too many bananas, the high potassium will throw your heart into an arrhythmia. If you have food that's too high in iron, your body cannot get rid of iron. Only people that can get rid of iron is women because they lose it during the menses. So in reality, everything is bad for you one way or another, and we're all going to die someday. So enjoy it and make life the best you can be and be the best person you can be. In your case,
We just have to
just
find
be a good.
what makes sense to us and do that.
So you're already the best drummer you can be. You're damn good.
Well, he already died once, so he gets to come around and do it all again.
That's right.
I gotta ask, did you see a light at the end of the tunnel or anything like that?
No, I didn't see any of that. I told you what I saw.
Yeah,
He was on American Idol with Steven Tyler.
Yes. God.
Yeah, we were backstage in the dressing room, and we both had hospital gowns.
Oh, that'd been horrible, Steven. You would have wake up and Steven Tyler's God or something like.
Stevens was
like, I'm God.
Steven Tyler's was on backwards, and He was going to
And
do.
the funny thing about that, waking up, I woke up and there's this big poster in my room of me and Mark Weiss, the legendary photographer.
Mark Wise Guy Weiss.
I got
Huh?
Mark, go ahead. I was going to say Mark Wise Guy Weiss. He's a very well-known music photographer.
Exactly.
that comes into
Good friend of mine, great photographer.
Speaking of Mark Weiss, Jeff Kiss just sent me a message.
I didn't even get to finish my story.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Forks over
I was going
knives.
to say it real quick because you was talking about waking up and Steven Tyler is God. But I woke up and there's this big poster in my room that he had made of me and him. And for days, I was thinking, why is there this picture of Steven Tyler up on my wall? I thought for sure it was Steven Tyler. I think it was either me and Steven Tyler or Steven Tyler and Mark. And I didn't understand what the deal was, but come to find out it was actually me and Mark. So there you go. That's my story. Now you can go on.
Okay. Well, Jeff Kiss, he sent this message to me. This is a little while ago. He wanted to know, do you remember meeting him outside Nokia Theater for the Ace Frehley show when he was with Mark Weiss?
I do. I actually do. Yes, I do.
There you go, Jeff.
There you go, Jeff.
There you go.
How you doing, man?
He said you have 2 shows scheduled so far for 2013, M3 and a show in New York City. Any chance of a big tour?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no.
He's also asking if the Woodstock gig was one of the top 3 shows that you've played.
It definitely has to be up there. Yeah.
Which
Definitely one
Woodstock?
of the most memorable shows.
Which Woodstock did you play?
Well, dude, he's
94.
the original. He's like
there's
100
been
years
3
old.
of them. There's 3 of them. Which one did you play?
94.
94. Okay. See?
Is that the one where Fred Durst caused a riot or whatever he did?
No, that was 99.
Oh.
We played the good ones.
Ah.
Yeah, 99 was the one where it was like the fire and the rapes and the murders.
How do you think Mountain feels that they let their manager talk them out of being in the original Woodstock film, and that could have catapulted their career?
Leslie's not a bad dude.
No, I didn't know that they did. But I have a Leslie West story.
Yeah, go ahead. I like Leslie.
Don't even tell me
Yeah,
you
I
own
do.
his leg.
Huh? Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I woke up in the hospital and his leg was next to
It
me.
was autographed. from Leslie.
Really? Wow, that's wild.
It's like a rabbit's foot. He carries out a keychain. Go ahead with the Leslie West story. We love Leslie.
Oh, well, my Leslie West story. I went to see him one time. He invited, I guess his manager, somebody took me back there to meet him. And as soon as he saw me, he said, hey, come sit down next to me. He said, I love you guys. I love your band. He said, let me tell you a story. He says, you guys, I heard you on the radio, and I never go to record stores, so I never go to record stores. When I heard you guys, I had to go to the record store myself and find the record and see who you were. And there you go. He loves King's X.
Oh, that's cool.
I was a big Mountain fan. I loved Mountain.
I like Mountain
To hear
too.
that from him was, quite an honor.
He's such a great guitar player.
Yeah,
So
what a
overlooked.
tone, what a feel.
Oh yeah, a lot of motion and that stuff with him.
Yep.
So you're friends with
Anyway,
Mark.
well,
You're good friends with Mark Weiss, huh?
Yeah.
I too am a rock concert photographer and rock
Me too.
photographer. No, Dominic, don't mess around. I hate when you do that. I'm actually a professional photographer. I own a photo studio and I shoot a lot of bands and work for a lot of magazines. But Mark was one of my idols growing up because I used to read the old Circus magazine about 82, 83. And I saw the photos back then and I knew that's what I wanted to do with my living. And that's how I started. So he,
Awesome.
just like what other bands influence, like you've influenced other drummers to start drumming, or like when you were a kid, other bands influenced you as this is what you want to do. Mark was one of my main influences in life.
Wow. Do you know Mark?
No, I've never met him. Ever. I mean, I photographed just about everybody in the world, whether it be a major political celebrity or a rock star or a movie star. We just have not yet met. But if you ever talk to him, tell him that, hey, there's a David K. Photo in Cleveland. Is a huge fan, and that's how I got to start because of him.
So what's your name again, David?
Well, my website is I just go by David K Photo. So David K is
David K Photo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go to davidkphoto.com,
I remember that.
and I'll just say this guy is the stuff. Actually, one of the major men's magazines did a huge article on me a few months ago on my concert photography and rock and roll photography.
Is that Mad Magazine?
No, it's a men's magazine. I just don't want to say it because
Very nice.
I don't want to offend him.
National Enquirer.
No.
Playgirl.
No.
Biggins.
Shut up. You guys know what it is. So
I'm working on a new record.
Yeah, that's
tell us about the new record.
Yeah, I'm working with D.A. Carcos. Just was in Nashville, I think a couple weeks ago now. Spent a week there and did all the drums for the record at Michael Wagner Studio, Wire World Studios. The legendary Michael Wagner. We all know Michael Wagner, right?
Oh, yes.
And I'll be going back again soon to continue with the rest of the record, and hopefully it'll be out this year.
Nice.
And we're very excited about it.
Well, Nashville's the new music hotspot. I mean, you're more likely to find a true musician and, a legend in Nashville than you would in L.A. because everybody's going there because it has all the talent and creativity without the attitude, So everybody's saying Nashville's the place.
I like Nashville. Yeah.
So you're working with DA. Do you got any guest appearances from John Corabi on this album, or is this his
I don't
album?
know yet. I think there's going to be some guest appearances from a few people, but I'm not going to say anything at this point because they're not on there yet. Until it happens, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to say something that doesn't happen.
Fine, be that way.
How about that?
He can be any
really
way.
exciting, though, man. It'll be really, really exciting.
He can be any way he wants to be. He's the guest on the show.
I'm joking. Calm down there, Slim.
Hey, at the end of the dude. Hey, listen. He toured the world. Been up and down in the music industry. Had a freaking heart attack. Had his home wiped away. Now he's back on top again, playing all over. You know what? The dude gets props for me.
Thanks, man.
Eddie knows Mark Weiss.
Oh, well, he had my props just from being in King's X because they wrote some great songs, and hopefully there'll be some new great songs to add to that. I don't want to say it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
There will be new songs.
I do have a couple
and they
questions.
will be great.
I have a couple questions to music related for you. A lot of drummers play in the background, I should say, and they really don't part of the creative process of writing the songs. And some drummers are heavily involved, and it's like a group effort with everybody. When you're with King's X, or even with this new project that you're working with, do they basically say, okay, play whatever drums you want underneath, or are you there creating with them while they're coming up with the riffs and the guitars and the bass? When it comes to the writing part of it, I'm not talking about recording. I'm talking about their creative process.
Well, it just depends. We've done it several different ways. We've made records where demos were completely made with, programmed drums, and so you'd have to work from that. But we've always all been free and encouraged by each one of us to put our own ideas and thoughts into everything we do, which is what I think actually makes King's X King's X.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also done records where we've completely and 100% from scratch written every song together with no thoughts beforehand other than let's go make a record and let's see what happens.
Which do you prefer?
It just happens many different ways.
Is there a style you prefer?
I kind of like just making a record from scratch where we all just are doing it as it comes. It feels kind of real to me. I feel like I can do what I want to do or what I feel to do, and it's going to be the right thing because that's the only thing that's ever been played. And I like that, and I like having the song already written and the structure there because you can put yourself into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on the way we do it at the time. and I don't have any preference over anything. I just, when the time is right, we do it the way we do it, and that's my favorite thing to do at the time.
Cool. Hey, Jerry, we're gonna have to
Well,
start wrapping this up in
okay.
a couple minutes. We just have a few more questions, and Dom has something to talk to you
Okay.
about. Now, I know like a lot, like you read a lot of the bands that have been together a long time, how they're not really like close. Are you, Doug and Ty, still close friends, like from when you started?
I feel like in many ways we're probably closer, even though we don't spend hardly any time at all together or even speak with each other unless we're on tour or making a record or doing something as a band.
Oh, it's like that.
But
It's like that unwritten
we're
brotherhood.
We're like brothers.
Yeah.
You know, we're the bond is, I think, forever sealed.
So like everybody has some of those like true to the bone friends that you don't need to talk to them every day. You don't need to even check in on them for a while, but like a few months could pass and something happens, or you call them and everything just picks up right from where you left off before. You know,
Absolutely, always that way with those guys. Always.
that's good.
Okay, I have a quick thing here. This one came from Jason Bittner. He's a drummer in Shadows Fall. He wanted me to ask you. He said, asked Jerry if he needs any drum gear due to the loss he endured from the storm. He also said, he went on to say, I'd gladly donate to you.
Oh, that is so nice of Jason. He has donated a lot to me through all this. Fortunately, I didn't lose a lot of gear. My hardware got really rusted on the kit that I have at home, but it's still usable, and
lube it up.
I really, really appreciate that, Jason. I'm going to have to meet Jason someday. Tell Jason I said hi.
I'm doing that
to
right now.
meet.
Isn't it amazing that through all different styles of music, there's a bond between drummers? It's amazing. Like I saw some little boy in my apartment building pulling out a crusty old drum set from his mom's car, and I saw his little stands falling apart and everything. And I'm not a man of many means, but I went over and talked to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been playing drums," and it's like this and that. I'm like, "How?" I asked him about his kit, and he's like, "Oh, it's just this and that." So I'm like, "Well, I'll tell you what." I said, "Tell me what you need, and I'll see what I got to help you out." So I gave him a bunch of my stands and stuff, and like, you can of course you can always sell stuff on eBay, but when you help someone else out, it just felt so. It was like fulfilling, because like I'm taking that tribe of drummer bond and passing it on to a young kid, and then he'll eventually pass it on to someone else. It's like we're all like got some of the same blood in us.
That's beautiful, man. It's very nice.
Plus, his mom was hot.
Oh, there you go. That always helps.
I think she was married,
That's
though.
usually been the reason for most of my decisions, too.
I think she was married. She's married, though.
You think?
I'm not sure.
Do you get the kid's number?
Huh? No. The funny thing is, every once in a while, I'll get a random knock on my door, and he'll like have.
You're hoping it's her, right?
Nah. I think she's married. But he'll knock on the door and say, "Hey, can you fix this, or can you fix that?" Or one day I think he was asking for some eggs or something. I can't remember. But he's like,
he's a neighbor of yours.
Yeah, he lives in the apartment building. He's like maybe
Okay.
oh God, he's like 7, 8 years old. Like that's the first time I met him was when he was pulling his stuff out of his thing. So every time I see him, until I brought all the stuff home, he was asking me about it. And there's like this drum charity thing. They raise money for schools, and I thought he was going to do it. So I'm like, "Oh, set up next to me," but he didn't end up going. But I gave him my goodie bag and stuff. He was like, he was running around like the courtyard in the apartment, swinging like the bag of stuff around and having a good time. So.
That's great, man.
So hopefully, like he'll have that drummer percussion brother and spirit in him someday too.
Right on, man. Very nice. All right.
So Jerry, how can people get a hold of your music? Or anything you got?
You can get online.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can find it in record stores.
Wait, what's a record store?
You have any websites you want us to guide our listeners to?
What's that?
You have any websites you want to guide our listeners to?
Well, I'm reconstructing JerryGaskill.com right now. That'll be up soon. I want to go to that.
That'd be perfect, too.
Check out KingsXOnline.com or KingsXRocks.com.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, what we're going to have you do a station promo for us, if you don't mind. Just state your name, the band, that's the band you're with, which in your case would be King's X, and say you're listening to Maximum Threshold, and throw anything you want at the end of it out there.
All right. Hey, this is Jerry Gaskill from King's X, and you're listening to Maximum Threshold.
Perfect. You didn't throw anything out.
Couldn't think of anything.
It's okay.
Great.
We'll throw something on behind
man.
it. Thanks a lot, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, man.
Look forward to seeing you in the
care.
future.
Okay, man. I'll do my best.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Take care.
Take care. That really is a very underrated band.
Oh.
You have just listened to an exclusive interview on Maximum Threshold Radio. Thanks for listening, and please visit us at MaximumThreshold.net.